If you're an investor, you want to know when we get a tax cut package. The market recently sold off because we thought that maybe we won't get the tax cut package until next year. Bad news for investors. So let's bring in Congressman Pete Roskam, Republican of Illinois. He is on the committee that writes the tax code, which is writing the tax reform package. Congressman, can you tell us definitively that we will get a tax cut package this calendar year?
I think we will, Stuart, and here's why. This current tax code is dissolving underneath us, and we're at a national inflection point. People recognize it's too complicated and it's not working for us anymore. People recognize that the enforcement agency, the IRS, has largely lost credibility. And people recognize that inversions, companies leaving, is going to continue to happen. So I estimate we've got about 8 months to get this thing done in order to move this thing through. And that's my hope and my expectation. It's got to happen this year.
But that takes us into the fall of this year. If we do get a bill, the President signs it, by the fall of this year, does that mean that my tax rate, your tax rate, and everybody else's tax rate goes down at that point?
So those are decisions that are yet to be made, but there's a lot of interest in moving as expeditiously as possible. Because, look, these companies are continuing to leave the United States, and the pressure for them to leave is all coming from our own tax code. So there's a sense of clarity that there's a window of opportunity here. Donald Trump came in and basically flipped the game board of American politics. We think with his help, we've got the capacity to flip the game board of the tax code, which is just not working for us anymore. So the time is now, and the urgency is upon us.
Why wasn't fixing the tax code job one instead of repeal and reform Obamacare? I mean, that's what the country wants. The country wants growth, and the way to get growth is cut taxes and stimulate the economy. Why wasn't it job one?
Yeah, there's not mutually exclusive. So the work that we're doing on the tax code is happening simultaneously with the the treatment of Obamacare. You repeal the Obamacare taxes, which we hope to do, you get a lot more room to work with in tax reform. So they're moving along at a similar pace. I think, though, President Trump made a commitment out in the course of the campaign trail, first and foremost to remove and replace Obamacare, and he's following up on that. But following right behind it is the reformation of the tax code to change this thing, get rid of the Made in America tax, and move forward.
I believe that the President is having a meeting on the legislative schedule a little bit later on today. I would expect him to push hard for the tax cut fast. You agree with that?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think he's a man of action. He's impatient with he's on failure is not something he's very, very tolerant of. And look, the country elected somebody to come in and move things. And in Donald Trump, they're seeing that. So I think he's going to be pushing. And when he engages on the legislative side, I think that is going to be incredibly helpful to move this all the way through the process.
Please don't disappoint the Republican base. Please don't disappoint investors. Congressman Pete Roskam, thanks for joining us.
Amen to that.
Amen to that.
Stuart.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.